feel? How did that feel to everybody? Did you feel like dancing?
Good morning. I'm Kimberly Bishop, Associate State Director at AARP Michigan, and I'm glad you chose to spend some time with us this morning for our February Rhythm Circle. I'm always surprised by the location of our viewers, so please say hi in the comments section and let us know where you're from. These monthly rhythm sessions are a way for us to have fun with purpose. If you've joined us before, you've likely heard me talk about the connection between music, which is our fun, and brain health, which is our purpose. Well, since it's February and we're right on the heels of Valentine's Day, I decided to mix things up a little bit and share a little bit of information about the connection between music and heart health. Did you know that a study presented at the American College of Cardiology's annual scientific session in 2020 showed that patients who suffered chest pain soon after a heart attack had significantly lower levels of anxiety and pain if they listened to music for 30 minutes a day. The research suggests that music, combined with standard therapies such as medications, could be a simple, accessible measure that patients can do at home to potentially reduce symptoms and prevent subsequent cardiac events. According to the American Heart Association, another study suggests that music therapy could make high blood pressure more effective. Now, there are two schools of thought on this. One says that music itself stimulates the healthy hormones and body functions to lower blood pressure, while the other says that the behaviors that we do while listening to music help our heart, and music helps us improve those behaviors. So you can find simple ways to incorporate music into your life, like playing music to reduce stress, to motivate you during exercise, or to wind down and prepare for sleep. Or, of course, join AARP for a rhythm circle. You can find links to the articles about the information I've shared in the comments section. You'll also find the link to our webpage where you can see all of our virtual events. We have a little something for everyone. Now that we've had the purpose, let's get started on the fun. I'd like to welcome back our friend, Kevin Bujo Jones. Kevin is a percussionist, band leader, producer, and educator. He's a faculty member with MSU Percussion and Jazz Studies. He's served as a percussionist for the dance department at Western Michigan University, as well as an artist in residence in the Jazz Studies department. He's an accompanist for West African dance classes at Grand Valley State University and serves on the board of directors for the West Michigan Jazz Society. If I read all of his credentials, we'd be here all day and never get to the fun. So I'd like to say one last thing. If you have questions for Kevin, please type them in the comments section where he will answer them live. So I'd like to welcome Kevin Bujo Jones and his lovely wife, Martine. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Kim? And how is everybody doing? Good Saturday morning to you all. I'm hoping that you all are staying safe and warm and staying out of the cold weather as much as possible when you can. We are going to do a few things today. We're going to go over some things that we did in the previous months, as well as learn, actually not a new rhythm because we did this last year, but being that it's Black History Month, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Babatunde Olatunji. Mr. Babatunde Olatunji was one of my first inspirations to start playing the hand drum. And that hand drum was an African drum that my brother brought back from Zambia. It was a little small drum. I still have that drum from over 52 years ago, and it was really a great treasure to me. But I started listening to Mr. Babatunde Olatunji, who was really part of the civil rights movement during the 60s. And he put out an album called Drums of Passion. And Drums of Passion was put out by Columbia Records and became a very big record. As a matter of fact, Santana, the group Santana, did one of their songs called Jingo Ba. So I think he's an important figure in our culture and Black American culture, although he's from Nigeria and he moved here, I believe in the late 50s or early 60s. But anyway, he popularized a rhythm called Funga Alafia. Funga Alafia is a rhythm, a song, and a dance that was native to the Yoruba people, and it's been adapted in many different versions. I've heard children singing in school, etc., etc. But anyway, let's get to the rhythm. First of all, for everyone out there that does not own a conga drum like this, or a djembe like this one. This is a djembe drum from West Africa, from Mali and Guinea, from the Mali Empire. If you don't have one of these drums, you can always do a makeshift drum. And as usual, I'll hold up my trusty coffee mate container, empty coffee mate container. You can just, put it between your legs like so. And drum along with us. And if you don't want to do that, you can use find something in your kitchen or your around the house. This is a Orville Redenbacher popcorn. I'm pretty sure we need to throw this popcorn away because we've been using this for over a year. But you can use this as a shaker. One, two, three, four. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can just 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hold it like this as well. So some people are more adept at playing an instrument. Some people are not. That's okay, because you can still participate. This music generally is for everybody. It's a community type of music. African drumming grew out of community, out of the people. It's not necessarily a solo performance instrument, although it can be. So, I do solo, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, so you can use that, or you might have something like a tambourine around, So anyway, grab what you can. I'll give you like a 30 seconds before we start learning this new rhythm. Or actually, I shouldn't say it's a new rhythm. But Funga has a song which we may or may not do. Funga is spelled F-A-N-G-A. Funga. Funga Alafia. Funga Alafia. Ashe, Ashe, Funga Alafia, Ashe, ashe. Funga lafia. Ashe, ashe. Funga lafia. Ashe, ashe. So that's the basic song, right? So, but let's go over the rhythm. Okay. The three basic sounds of the drum are bass, tone, and slap. Three basic sounds. Bass, you play a bass by putting your palm and all your fingers towards the middle of the drum and striking the drum. Like so. Can you try that? Aha! Okay. All right. So that's a bass sound. Tone sound, very important. You want to put your fingers and line them up like so. I'm going to try to do this. So what I like to do is start in a ready position. Ready position to me is putting your fingers on the head of the drum and lining your knuckles up with the edge, the rim, the edge, the circumference of this drum. And you want to keep your fingers straight and but relaxed. Straight but relaxed. In other words, don't stiff it up like that, like it's real stiff. No, you want to keep it straight but relaxed. And you just come down on the drum, and all your focus is in here, is in this part of your hand. That's where your energy is coming from, is going, right? Uh-huh. Okay, good. Tone. And the slap sound, probably very difficult to do it on if you have a Tupperware container, or if you're a beginner, you want to, it may be a little difficult for you to get the sound. It took me over 6 months to learn how to play a slap, and that was practicing every single day when I was a child. So the slap sound, I'll just explain it a little bit. When you play a slap sound, you're going to come here and then let your fingertips fall. It's almost like a whip or shooting a basketball with that kind of motion when you shoot a jumper, you know. So you're using your wrists. So why don't you guys try it? I'll play a slap and then you repeat after me. So now, three basic sounds: bass, tone, and slap. So how do we utilize that inside of a context of learning a rhythm? So this rhythm, luckily, only has basses and tones, okay? So we're gonna play one bass and repeat after me. I'll play and then you play, okay? Okay. Bass. Bass. Right, bass. Okay, so that's your first note, all right? Then, actually, three tones. Come So let's put it in time. Sorry. Good. Three, four. 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first half of the rhythm. Bass, tone, to tone. Bass, tone, to tone. Bass, tone, to tone. Okay? The next part, you have 2 basses. Bass, bass. Try that. Then 2 tones, but they're closer together. So that's the second half. So we're going to play the first half. Bass. Second half. Bass, bass. Bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone. Bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone, tone. Bass, tone, Very good. Okay, so we're taking it very, very, very slow. So now, oh, there's a question from Jean. What happened to your finger, and does it affect your drumming? Yeah, so I had a little itty bitty cut, and because it's wintertime, sometimes it's a lot of times in winter we get dehydrated and don't really realize it. In summertime, it's hot, and so we drink a lot of water. But in wintertime, we don't really realize that with the heat on, and it's very dry. The humidity is the dew point is very, very low in a lot of places. Especially if you live in California or Arizona, places like that. But we live in Michigan, and in the wintertime, it's not very humid. And so oftentimes your skin dries out. And so even playing a little bit, or you might do something and it's almost as small as a paper cut. But what happens is when you drum on it and you're not hydrated enough, it'll open up. And so to protect my finger, I just wrap some tape around it, or sometimes I use this thing called new skin, and it makes sure that the cut doesn't open up. So this is more of a preventative measure because I have a little small cut. But what can happen is that if I keep playing on it and I'm still not hydrated enough and I don't use enough, what I use is shea butter on my hands. And so if I hydrate myself, use shea butter, and keep my hands moisturized, then I won't get the cuts. But for now, until it heals back completely, because this happened over a week ago, maybe about 10 days ago, and it's still there, but I'm still making sure that it doesn't expand and get worse, and then get infected, and then I have a problem. So this is just more preventative, and no, it doesn't really affect my drumming ability to drum. So that's question answered. I hope that was a good explanation for you. Okay, so now let's try this rhythm again from the beginning. For our purposes today, we're going to use we're using djembes, and we're going to also use the signal or break to come into it. Okay, so the break sounds like this. Right? So I have a little cowbell hooked up on my foot, so that's what you're hearing. So you guys can hear where the pulse is, right? So okay, all right, so now we're going to start it. Start the rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2. Keep going. Bass, tone, tone, bass, bass, tone. Very good. Now, this is my wife, Martine. I love her very, very much. She is not a professional drummer, but she's been doing this, tape stuck to your hair. Excuse me. She's been doing this out of the kindness of her heart, and sort of playing along with me. So I'm not up here by myself, and sort of acting as my student. Now, she has never played before, but she's very musical, very talented, and she knows music very, very well. But she's not a djembe. She's not a djembe player or a conga player. So I'd like to personally thank you for sticking your neck out like this. But she's heard me play a lot, and she knows. So there's questions coming in. People are using, this is not a question. People are using Tupperware bowls, stainless steel bowls, and 3 are using djembes today. Cool. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Yay. All right. So I just want to talk a little bit about the nature of African drumming and Africa, or African diasporic drumming, the drumming from the African diaspora, which is all of Africa, all of the Caribbean, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, all of the islands, South America, Suriname, Colombia, Brazil. What's common in all of those native drumming styles or drumming communities is that all the rhythms that we hear have an aspect of what we call polyrhythm. And what does polyrhythm mean? It's many rhythms happening at the same time. So what does that mean? So that means that Martine can play a rhythm, one rhythm, I'll play another rhythm that matches, that goes with it. So there's another rhythm that that goes with it, and it's pretty easy. So you can play this. Bass. Right? 1. Okay? Okay, so do you want to try that? Yeah. Bass. And so what I would do, if you start here with your right hand.
Come back with the right hand?
Yeah, I would go 1, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. So did you guys get that? So it's basically you play one. So in music you have upbeats and downbeats. I'm playing with my foot. I'm playing on a cowbell that's playing the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you play 1, and then the rest are all upbeats. That's the beats within inside of the beats in between. Okay, so now we're going to play both of those rhythms together. Okay, so don't be scared. Okay,
I'm scared.
Don't be afraid. It's not something to fear. Okay. So what happens if you mess up in music is that you can try again.
Yes.
So I'm going to play. And Martine is going to play. Okay. All righty. So, funga. So, couple things to remember. I mentioned Babatunde Olatunji, who had a very, very, very a strong impact on the music and the African drum and dance community in the United States, or what is now called the African drum and dance community. Him and a person named Laji Kamara from Guinea, West Africa. And I'm proud to say that I had the opportunity to play with Babatunde Olatunji in New York many, many years ago, back in the early 80s. So look his name up, Babatunde. That's Babatunde, Olatunji, Olatunji, Babatunde Olatunji. Now, there's a question from Carmelina. Does the left hand ever play the bass? Oh yeah, definitely. So you can play this left-handed. There's many rhythms that have left-hand bass. This is easier for me to play it right-handed because I'm right-handed. Left hand, if you're left-handed. So there's another rhythm, for example, that's from the Ivory Coast. But we're not going to do that today, okay? It's anyway. So yes, there's plenty of rhythms. Okay, yeah, thank you, Babatunde Olatunji. So please look him up. It's part of our history here in America. It's very, very, very honorable person, and one of my heroes, one of my idols growing up. And it was my introduction to African drumming and African music. I grew up in Englewood, New Jersey, and which Englewood is about 2.5 miles from Manhattan. But that was my introduction, because back in the 60s, there wasn't really much, many people playing African drums. Now it's pretty popular. Okay, so I want to go back to a rhythm that we were playing. I believe it was last month, and maybe the month before. This is a very, very common Jinbei pattern that goes to a lot of different rhythms, like lamban and another rhythm called passport. It's a lot of different rhythms, kasa. And anyway, so you can play this. It's a very common rhythm. So the first is 3 slaps. I think you heard it in the introduction that we did this. We played this rhythm before. So after we leave, if you want to know, try to remember it, you can watch the video over again on Facebook. So anyway, so it's 3 slaps. Slap, slap, slap. So try that. So, right. So if you can't do a slap cleanly like I'm playing it, don't worry.
Here's a Chris.
Well, you also have a sit on my drum. Yeah. So my this is one of my other djembes, and it's lower, and it's lower for a reason, because when you play together with many different drums, you don't want them all to be the same tonality. You don't want them to be the same pitch. You need to have
Harmony.
Yeah, you need to have high djembe, lower djembes, and even sometimes bass djembes. Okay, and usually I should note that the djembe is usually played in a djembe, what we call a Jinbei Orchestra, a djembe group ensemble. Usually has a set of dunumba or dununs, which are collectively known as the dundun, the sangban, which is the middle drum, and the kenkeni, which is the high drum. The dunun is the very biggest drum, and it's usually played in a set, usually with traditionally with a bell, and they're played traditionally they played horizontally, turned on the side, and played with a bell, and one stick on the head of the dune and a bell. So maybe next month I can demonstrate some of that for you. So you really get a sense of what's really happening. So anyway, so let's just go over this one rhythm because we only have a few minutes left. So we're doing 3 slaps. Slap, slap, slap. Right, left, right. I'm doing right, left, right. Once again, right, left, right. Right, left, right. Okay? And then 2 tones. So I'm doing right, left. If you're left-handed, you can play. Left, left. So I'm playing it right. I'm going to play it right-handed. Right, left, right, right, left. Okay, so that's one of the common djembe rhythms. We can go over that next week, and we'll add some dunes next month, which is going to be March 19th is the next rhythm circle. Just quickly, I'm loving this so much. Comment from Jeanette. I'm loving this so much. Thank you. Could feel my brain working along with my fingers. Very important. This helps your concentration. The more you play, the more the better your concentration will get. I've had many episodes. I had an episode with a brain injury myself, and it was very, very, very serious brain injury. And I still have trouble concentrating, but playing the drums helped me recover. Getting back to playing the drums really helped me recover quite a bit. So until next time, I'm going to go into the chat and answer some questions that you may have for a few minutes after we stop. So we want to thank you so very much for attending this monthly Rhythm Circle by AARP Michigan. Please visit aarp.org /Michigan or /MI for more information on upcoming events. And until then, and my lovely wife, Martine, and I will see you next month on March 19th at 10 a.m. We'll see you later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.